The Summit of European Union Leaders of May the 22nd, 2013 did absolutely nothing of substance to address the really serious economic crisis in many countries within the EU. Against a background of 26 million people unemployed. And against this background, nothing short of emergency measures are called for. And those measures, if they were to be effected, would have to take into account that capitalism as an economic system has utterly failed the majority, the working class people of Europe. It was the capitalist financial market systems in the first place, with its unprecedented speculation and profiteering, that dragged the real economy into a crisis and created the situation that we have at the present time. And the response of the EU economic and political elite says it all. Instead of addressing that issue, it puts the burden onto the shoulders of working people and poor people within the EU. All you have to do is look at Greece reduced to penury, Portugal, Ireland, other peoples suffering under the dreadful yoke of austerity, which is widely recognised now to be a total disaster. And we get, in response to this situation, empty words from the President of the Commission, Barroso, and indeed from ministers in this government, that austerity has reached its limit. But words mean nothing. Now, the statement following the EU summit trotted out, in fact, the same old cliches, relying essentially on the same system, on the same institutions that have caused the crisis to come out of it. I was interested to note that the communiqué did draw attention to a fall in private investment across Europe. It also said that investment in the European energy sector is at historically low levels. Now, it did not draw attention, however, to what has been in the financial press for the last 2 years. That €3 trillion, that's 3,000 billion euro of accumulated profits, lies fallow in the coffers of big European corporations because it's not profitable enough for them to invest, they estimate. So the summit then went on to talk about taxation, but did not propose the type of radical action that would be needed. For example, let's say a 60% emergency tax on the 3 trillion that is hoarded by these major EU corporations. That would release 1,800 billion for investment in substantial job creation, in necessary and needed infrastructure and services across Europe, to put the youth of Spain back to work, the youth of Ireland, the youth of every country, and give them a future, by contrast to what has happened at this time. Similarly, to put those funds into energy generation, clean generation, public generation. How can an Irish government bring any credibility to a taxation argument, however, when the taxation laws and structures of this state are used to evade and avoid paying billions of euros of taxes by some of the biggest multinational corporations on earth? And those who deny that that is the case are denying a reality that is well proven at this stage. Gaelic, in conclusion, the present elite in the EU, economic and political elite, promise only a continuation of the same old failure of capitalist policies. The masses of European working people and poor people should rise up in opposition and revolt, demanding an alternative, which would be a democratic and socialist alternative, where the resources are released for public investment into productive sectors of society, where the financial institutions are in public ownership and democratic control, and where there is a plan to end this crisis, to provide a future for the youth and work for everybody who is capable of it, rather than relying on the same old failed structures that only promise ongoing suffering and crisis.